All right, being a holiday week, am I a bad guy? Before you answer that, let me qualify that. Not just a blanket statement. There's a specific question in here.
I'm glad you got to that, yes.
Because we know which way the two of you would vote here on Cardinals Underground. Dani Sureck, Darren Urban, yours truly, Paulie Podcast. Am I a bad guy if I don't like a parade? You know the old saying, everyone loves a parade? Really? Everyone?
What kind of parade?
No, I'm with Paul 1,000,000%
Wait,
on this.
hang on. Are you talking about watching the Thanksgiving Day parade on your couch? Are you talking about fighting the crowds for a Super Bowl parade? What are the circumstances here?
It's a valid question. Yeah, I can withstand and take a parade, with the remote in my hand, and there's going to be two at least, right? There's going to be two on Thanksgiving morning. There's going to be
two remotes or two parades?
The Macy's Day Parade in New York City.
My mom loves that.
The underrated parade that I'm seeing here,
Boot Parade,
was actually but recently named the top holiday parade by USA Today. They've rebranded it into America's Thanksgiving Parade, otherwise known, Darren, as the Detroit Thanksgiving Day Parade. As a Detroit native, Darren Urban.
I was not aware there was this. Is it televised?
It's actually as old as the Macy's Day Parade. They're both nearly 100 years old, by the way.
Yeah, but we all know about East Coast bias. Like we already, everybody knows about Macy's in New York, blah, blah,
So
blah.
here's where I stand on parades, is I would never go stand in line in person in those, right? I'm also not someone, the last thing I ever want to do is spend New Year's Eve in Times Square in that kind of crowd. Doesn't interest me. If you're telling me, though, that the team I have cheered for my entire life wins a trophy of some sort, I'm willing to fight my disdain for massive crowds like that to enjoy that once-in-a-lifetime experience.
The Cowboys?
I was saying hypothetically as a person.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I'm not necessarily me specifically. I also grew up a Dallas Stars fan. I mean, we got to a point where I was talking with my dad when they were going far in the playoffs of, okay, how can I make this work with my work schedule of coming home for the parade?
Darren Hatcher's a jerk. But anyways, I would say I'm definitely not a fan of parades in person. One of the things I like, you like about having them at home is you can walk away from watching them. And the other thing that pops in my head is I'm kind of the same way. Now, this definitely is a downfall of growing up in Arizona. I'm not a fireworks person. And that is probably mostly because those handful of times that my mom tried desperately to take us out as kids to watch fireworks on 4th of July, and you're just sitting in the stifling heat, even though it's 8 o'clock at night. And I'm just thinking, can we just go home?
Okay.
So when the Cardinals win the Super Bowl, you guys are not going to be at the parade.
Oh, well, we'll probably have to cover it.
That's a good distinction,
that's a different parade.
There are championship parades and there are holiday parades.
Yes.
So, because, on Thanksgiving morning, I'm going to get dragged to a local parade. And
do you do the turkey trot? Are either of you turkey trot families?
I should, actually.
No.
Really should. But, burn off some calories beforehand.
Wait, can we back up? You have to go to a parade?
Oh, I'll get it's mandatory
Is
attendance.
this winning behavior now?
By the
What parade?
Well, it's a local town, suburb of the Phoenix metro area, known for the.
I guess it's invite only.
No,
Darren.
it's Fountain Hills.
He doesn't
want to admit he lives up there.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the parade, nor do I think it's very well run, to be honest with you. But I just thought as a car guy, can you wash your car before you put it in the parade?
That's fair.
Sounds like someone who lives in Fountain Hills would say something like that.
Anyway. So
to take
I'm mentally
in here.
preparing myself for that.
Okay.
By the way, there's no light here. Not that I would put it on for a parade. Apparently,
Jay
Jay
this is
told
what
me
happens
earlier.
when Alex goes out of town.
Apparently, it's not a right. It's a privilege. You have to earn the light from week to week. And Jay said based on last week, so no light. There you go. Okay.
Maybe next week.
All right.
We'll just do this a lot.
Double thumbs up over there.
All right, so Cardinals are going to Tampa.
They are going to Tampa.
Is that the occasion for that
Speaking
shirt,
of
Darren?
hot.
That's like a Florida shirt you got going
Is
there.
it?
Yeah,
I like the shirt.
Okay. Just saying, it's a guy who doesn't like
I don't
fireworks.
think Paul likes it.
I mean, fireworks and that shirt
It's a little
go
much
together.
for Paul.
It'd
probably be a little much for
Sure,
Paul.
I like this shirt.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's good. So yeah,
I can tell you that one of the I every time we go to Tampa, I keep thinking of the one time we're sitting at the team hotel, and I was having a beverage with Kent Summers, who was still on the beat at the time, and we were sitting on the patio of the hotel because it was like off the canal or wherever it was in Tampa, downtown Tampa or whatever. And who comes walking up to us to give us a little bro hug and say hi? Edgerrin James.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, this was a while ago. I'm trying to remember what trip it was.
What was his Lambo double parked outside?
Might have been the 2013 game where Patrick Peterson made the big interception at the end, and they played terribly, but they pulled it out at the very end.
I've never been to.
I'm sure you were sweating that day, Paul.
Mike Glennon.
It was
you
week
got
four.
Mike
Glennon. That's
twice.
right.
Yes.
Mike Glennon's like
Yes,
rookie
he did.
year.
Yep.
I've never been to Tampa. I'm excited to go to check another stadium off my list, but I'm not a fan of Florida.
What are we
so
talking about? Like 87% humidity on game day? What are we?
Probably. I'm already planning, since the two of you were curious, don't ask, I'm already planning on wearing my hair up to start the day.
Oh, there we go.
So stop stressing.
Okay.
Stop stressing about.
I've already made the
Dani's
decision.
Okay, that's good. That was, that was the big question off the top here at Cardinals Underground.
Cross
So
it
that's
off.
been answered. So okay. The other question was just how wrong was yours truly with my preseason prediction that this game would be flexed into prime time.
So I was the only one to technically get our predictions right.
I will say that.
But a lot of it had to do with Baker Mayfield against Kyler Murray.
Okay.
And neither one of them are probably
Neither
going to
side
play.
of that equation is likely to materialize.
You guys just need to get on my level.
So,
That's fair.
So now you're going to go against Todd Bowles and company. But you're-
Teddy Bridgewater probably.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Is it probably?
It is. Well, they said Baker Mayfield has got a sprain in his non-throwing shoulder. They're not closing the door on him playing.
Tampa's pushing for a playoff spot.
I know, but
Every time I think of Baker Mayfield, I think of two things. One, well, same game, two things. It was the COVID game, 2020 at Cleveland. Chandler Jones had to miss that game, and he was sick to his stomach because he couldn't believe later he would tell us just how long Baker Mayfield was holding on to the football.
Baker Mayfield got hurt in that game too.
Yes, he
if I
did.
recall
But there was also, they hit a big Hail Mary. Cardinals were killing him, but they hit a big Hail Mary right before half.
Oh, yeah.
And Vance Joseph at halftime, I had no idea he could throw it that far.
There
That
you
was
go.
the quote. That was a money quote.
I think of Baker Mayfield and I think of the Progressive commercials.
Oh, jeez.
He was next level on those. Speaking of next level.
Right. Okay.
Those were good.
So the Cardinals go to Tampa, and they're coming off another less than 6-point loss, right? What is it? 6 losses now by 4 points or fewer. Is it making it any easier to tolerate when it's a close loss versus a lopsided loss? Seattle, San Francisco.
Yes.
Okay.
You're in it. You're in it. It's still frustrating. Don't get me wrong. It is still frustrating to not be on the right side of those close games so consistently. The team is close though, and that's frustrating as that is to be at this point in the season when the players and coaches say that. It's true. They are competing with teams in the league and they're hanging in there, but they're not able to finish. And that's where things have really been frustrating for this team is you're not getting blown out of the water.
I'm willing to allow that losses stink in all regards, but having just gone through the Seattle and San Francisco games, it was much more enjoyable to watch a game that was close.
Well, that's true. It was a game through 4 quarters and in overtime, so that's the first thing you can say about it. Other thing you can say is, all right, what do you need to bridge that gap from being in the game to winning the game? Jacksonville was that team a year ago. They went 3-10 in one-score games. Look at them now. They are 7-4 and in first place. Well, right behind the Indianapolis Colts, who have a ridiculous end-of-the-season schedule, by the way.
Yeah.
Have you seen the way the Colts have to play the Texans twice and the Jags twice down the stretch, plus they have another marquee opponent. An 8-3 team might end up being like 9-8 by the end of the year. We'll see. It's amazing how things can change in November and December.
I mean, compared to the Cardinals, who also have to face the Texans and the Rams twice.
Yeah, the Rams twice is going to be tough because do they look like a juggernaut with 2 Gs.
There's some sort of stat where if you have the NFL's leading quarterback and the number 1 scoring defense, that's happened like 3 times in the last 40 years, and all 3 of those teams won the Super Bowl. Something like that.
Matthew Stafford has thrown 27 straight touchdown passes without a pick.
That's called next level. That's what that is. And then remember when guys like Matt Prater and other former Detroit Lions were on the roster, and they would tell you that, look, Matthew Stafford was Patrick Mahomes before Mahomes. And when you watch him get with the side arm angles and throwing through the B gap and threading the needle and the crazy arm talent and
That's
arm
what they're
angles.
teaching them out there in Texas.
So as for what the Cardinals are going to bring in against Todd Bowles, and by the way, shout out Todd Bowles. I still remember on the sideline his 2 years as Cardinals defensive coordinator, how many times he would shout out the opponent's play a good 10 seconds before they snap the ball. So he's going to bring it. He'll have a defensive game plan against Jacoby. He'll blitz a lot, and there'll be a lot of stuff that'll be unscouted and stuff you're going to have to anticipate just through your own instincts because you won't see it on film, and he'll be ultra aggressive. But they have a bottom 5 pass defense. Pass rush isn't nearly what they thought coming into the season. The defensive secondary is banged up. And so, all right, if the Cardinals can go out in the last 2 games and they can throw for that sort of air yardage, and Michael Wilson and Trey McBride can get fat in the pass game that way, what is possible? What is the potential against Tampa? And if nothing else, I mean, Michael Wilson, we asked Jonathan Gannon the sustainability question on the Friday going into the Jacksonville game. Well, guess what? You can check that box again for Michael Wilson.
Michael Wilson has been fabulous. He's done it 2 weeks in a row, so it doesn't feel fluky. He did it. Yeah, it was a blowout in the first game, but it was a close game. They needed every bit of that last game, and he came up, including that catch at the end of the game to put him in field goal range. I mean, if you're going to look for silver linings on a season like this, and you have to, because what else are you going to do at this point? Finding that Michael Wilson not only does all the dirty things that you liked him doing, like the blocking and being willing to not get targeted enough, to find out that when you do target him a ton, he can be awesome. I mean, that's huge.
18 targets 2 weeks ago, 15 targets last week. He caught 10 of those. He's surpassed 300 yards in just the last 2 games. I mean, that's impressive, especially when you're looking at the catches he's making. Very athletic, very acrobatic. He is making adjustments while the ball is in the air. He's making spectacular catches with defenders on his hips, good route running. He has really taken advantage of the opportunity he's had as the number 1 receiver, with Marvin Harrison Jr. being out as he recovers from appendicitis the last 2 weeks. And
then when JG tells us on the Friday going into the Jacksonville game that he really likes the instincts on Michael Wilson, the ability to read coverage, find an open spot, how that's underrated in a lot of receivers. The whole simplistic explanation, get open, catch the ball. Well, the get open thing can be a lot more complicated than you think. And especially when you're getting extra attention. And so to be able and then hear Michael Wilson tell the media, there's certain routes that are designed to go a certain distance, obviously. It's all very detailed and specific and precision-oriented, and those got to have moments. And you notice a defense is playing a certain way and you have that chemistry and you're in sync with your quarterback, you might break off a route early. And your quarterback is right there with you, reading it the same way. And as we know by a certain receiver in Cardinals history who just got honored in the process of ascending into the Hall of Fame. We'll get to that in a little bit. That's something that Larry Fitzgerald was very good at. I went around the locker room last week and I did a little poll of sorts. And I just said, all right, help me out here. Who knows receivers the best, defensive backs? You guys tell me, on another team, could Michael Wilson be the legit wide receiver 1? And they told me 2 things. One, we just debated that in the DB room. This was early last week. We had that debate. And they said, number 2, absolutely, just based on everything they see on a daily basis. And the third thing that they added was what people don't see is how he's one of the first guys in the building. He's one of the last to leave. We talked about this on the Red Sea Report with Craig Grillo. How many times have we been in the locker room, open locker room for the media, and one of the last guys to walk in uniform from practice is number 14?
Well, we talk all the time about Marvin Harrison and the jugs gun after practice. Mike Wilson sits out there with him. He's doing the same thing. So, it's a look. I mean, I think we all knew what a good person Michael Wilson was. He always felt like he was a good player. He just was looking for opportunities. When he first arrived, he had mentioned that he trained when he was in college. He trained with T.J. Houshmandzadeh, the former Bengals receiver. And I got T.J. Houshmandzadeh on the phone, and he said, and I think I might have mentioned this last week, Michael Wilson is the best receiver in this draft class. Now, Michael Wilson, before he went to the Senior Bowl his last year, because of all his injuries, he had an undrafted grade from most teams. He jumped that considerably because he played so well in Alabama at the Senior Bowl.
In fact,
played so well in the game.
Didn't Houshmandzadeh have to get him into the Senior Bowl to a large degree?
Yeah,
because
Houshmandzadeh basically said, "I'm going to get you into the Senior Bowl, and I guarantee you, if you do what I ask you to do and you play that week, you'll have a drafted grade." And he had a low second round, early third round grade by the time the draft actually rolled around, compared to where he was at the end of the season, which was injured and not on anybody's radar.
And if not for the Senior Bowl, he probably would not have been drafted, to hear Michael Wilson tell it.
Yes.
Because that was his all or nothing. Like, he had to get in there and he had to ball out. He had to show everyone what he couldn't show in 3 years at Stanford because he was so banged up and he couldn't put it on film, and they had so many different quarterbacks. But game 3 or game 4 of his rookie year at the 49ers, remember he had that big game?
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
Okay,
His
and he made a
first
lot
two.
of contested catches. So we found out, he's physical, right? He can make the contested catch. He doesn't mind contact. But then think of the other ways he's gotten better since, at least to hear him tell it, and Jonathan Gannon. His route running is a lot better. And then he just told the media he decided in the offseason, I'm too much of a body catcher. I need to catch more with my hands. And he's improved in that department. I mean, all that hard work the DBs were talking about that he puts in, they're like, look, it has paid off. And one guy said, he goes, and if the Jags defend him the same way the 49ers did, he'll have 150 more yards receiving. And he nearly did.
He did all of that work knowing he wasn't going to be the most targeted receiver behind Harrison and behind Trey McBride. Wilson has been very transparent about understanding what his role has been. When he was a rookie, he was playing behind Hollywood Brown. And then the Cardinals drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. So he's never had this opportunity to be a true number one receiver. And it was kind of nice to hear that when asked if he was surprised at how well he's performed with that spotlight, saying, no, I'm not surprised. I know, with the exception of, he made it clear, with the exception of his family, it is football and getting better at his game 24/7 during the season, during the offseason. So he has not surprised himself that he has performed as well as he has because he has put in that work from day one.
Here's my rant. 'Tis the season where you start getting NFL.com and they run the story with the top 10 draft picks right now and then their needs. So the Cardinals right now would be drafting 8th. And the number one need, the only need listed for the Arizona Cardinals, wide receiver. I'm like, oof. What are you watching?
We've come a long way in the last year, Paul.
You took a receiver number 4 overall. You have Michael Wilson right now who's playing like wide receiver 1. And your best pass catcher is Trey McBride. The last thing you probably need in this upcoming draft is to spend a first-round pick on a wide receiver.
Agreed.
What are they looking at?
I'm 1,000,000% with you, Paulie.
We actually both agree with you.
All right. I need a break. We need to get cultured. Do we not? Let's do that. Yes. Okay. Dani, we'll segue to you.
Getting cultured with Dani. It is not just directed at Paul.
Am I the default uncultured Philistine around here?
Yes.
You got me very excited now.
I am on social media and consume more pop culture than both of you combined.
I think I'm being unfairly profiled, but go ahead.
Let's go.
I want to know, Omo, would Default Uncultured Philistines be a great band name? I think it would be.
Paul is the front man.
I was reminded recently at a family event, my younger brother had a band in high school. You know what the name of their band was? Molten Spit. That was the name of the band.
Jamar Chase?
It lasted 2 months or so.
Would we rather...
They got a gig,
I can say that because
though.
I had a bench Chase in fantasy football
if
and
you're
I lost.
if you're in an NFL game, would you rather get spit on or have the Panther safety throw a punch right in the...
Boy.
Place you don't want to be punched?
Yes.
Oh, boy. All right. Next.
Anywho, my turn.
Sorry.
Here's our latest Louvre heist update. I'm really doing my part to keep you guys up to date. As of Tuesday, the day we are recording this, 4 new suspects have been arrested, 2 men and 2 women, in addition to the 4 people already charged in the case. The stolen jewels, though, estimated to be worth around $102 million, have not been turned over to authorities. I'll keep you posted, though.
I appreciate that. 8 people. It's a lot of robbery.
Yeah, that's too many mouths to keep shut. As somebody's,
that is
it's
true.
It's not going to work.
That's true.
I mean, come on.
Keep your
Fire Fest 2.0.
Uh-oh.
Are you both aware of Fire Festival from a few years ago?
I am.
That was the debacle out on the island?
Yes, let me refresh your memory. It was Fire Fest with Billy McFarland. That was who was putting on this fake, quotes, luxury music festival set in the Bahamas in 2017. And a bunch of artists canceled last minute when they realized what the situation was once people got there. He was scamming everyone, is what it was. He lied about the artists that were performing, didn't provide proper food, running water, or lodging. It didn't match the photos because they were staying in like disaster relief tents that were like leak. It was not a good situation. So he was sentenced to 6 years in prison, and McFarland served 4 of those. Well.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So do I take that as you're not attending Phoenix Fest in the Caribbean next weekend? It is a luxury music festival for about 400 people, which it will also be live streamed. Ticket prices range from $200 to $500,000. That package includes a private jet, a villa, 24/7 golf cart driver, etc. Now, McFarland has been taking videos himself on the island with documenting the process of getting all of this situated. So, one, the stage is not set. This is next week. The stage where the artist will be supposedly performing is not complete. And he showed a helicopter landing pad, which is a rickety 10 by 10 floating piece of wood in the water right next to the loading dock.
Who's giving this guy money?
And the boats to transport the people from their lodging to the stage part of the island. He got on the boat. He said he's recording himself walking down the dock, getting in the boat. This is how long it's going to take to show people it's legit. The boat holds max 8 to 10 people. So that is also something I will be keeping my eye on for the two of you to see how that goes down.
Would you invest with Bernie Madoff? No. So, I mean, people are actually entrusting this guy
Would
for
you
another
invest with
concert.
Bernie Madoff after he got busted the first time? This
How
is what
is
we're
he
talking
legally
about.
allowed to
what I
put on
mean.
another music festival is my question.
All right.
You both have been cultured, though. You're welcome.
Oof.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I will definitely be keeping my eye on how Phoenix Fest turns out.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
I thought for a minute there you were going to say it was here.
if you get taken,
No, it's PHNX
Okay.
Festival. So.
if you get taken by this
Oh, wait,
concert
hang on.
promoter,
Sorry. I would imagine that is like the Phoenix rising from the ashes. When I was talking with our team photographer,
Probably.
Caitlin, that's what we were kind of figuring is he is
Probably.
like the Phoenix. He's rising from
This
the
is
ashes
something.
of prison.
as opposed to a soccer team. Okay. All right. I get it. All right. So yeah, you will get taken by this guy somehow, some way, which is my segue to the takeaways by the Cardinals defense.
Oh, nice job.
Does that have sustainability? What did you see there? That 7-man front with dialing up the safeties with Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson and using their years of experience in football IQ. Show of hands, who liked that look? That seemed pretty dang effective, right?
I mean, the blitzing got home most of the time. Even the one that didn't work, Garrett Williams was laying into to Trevor Lawrence before he threw a really nice touchdown pass. And it was a nice play by him.
Where did that pass come from? I mean, he was stinking up the joint, and they threw an absolute dart.
Yeah, well, that's the Trevor Lawrence experience. But I would say that it was good to see. Clearly, like I'm sure if you asked Nick Rallis or any of the defenders, they would have liked to have a couple of the stops on the drives they really had to. For instance, the one where they gave up the touchdown right after the Cardinals took the lead with 7 minutes to go.
Yep, 6 plays, 65 yards after they led 21-17.
But they created turnovers. I would have liked to see that game play out if Walter Nolen hadn't gotten hurt. I mean, he was off to a good start. That wasn't lovely, and you still don't have Will Johnson, but they did a lot of good things. And again, when you go to play a team, let's just assume for the sake of, as we sit here recording, that you're either going to play Teddy Bridgewater or a compromised Baker Mayfield. And one of the things that makes Baker Mayfield great is his willingness to extend plays and run around and be a crazy man back there. And he might be a lot less crazy if he knows if he takes a shot on his left arm, he might not be able to continue. I'd like to see that kind of pressure continue. I think you can still get some turnovers.
What was impressive is the defense forced turnovers on all 3 levels. And it wasn't just turnovers of being in the right place at the right time. They earned it with eye discipline, the blitz, the strip sack from Jalen Thompson. Nolen caught the ball with his right hand while continuing the block with his left hand. He shook that offensive lineman, and he found his way to the end zone while taking a hit, which unfortunately would lead to that knee injury that kept him out of the second half. Akeem Davis-Gaither, Budda Baker, those were athletic interceptions. And understanding from watching film, understanding the tendencies of Trevor Lawrence and the Jags offense. And for Garrett Williams to jump the receiver in the end zone with that pick and keep the Jags off the scoreboard, at least for that drive, it's impressive. It wasn't just luck for those 4 turnovers. The defense really worked for those, and that's what you need to see continue. Is it realistic to have 4 in a game?
Yeah.
Probably not, but we also said that about Michael Wilson, and he went from 18 targets and stayed at 15, so I guess anything's possible.
Calais Campbell gets the assist on the Garrett Williams interception.
He did
as
tip
well,
the ball at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, he was one of our interviews after the game. Garrett Williams almost just shook off that interception as absolutely no big deal. The way he termed it, it was so easy. It was right to me after the ball was tipped. I think he was still thinking about the touchdown pass to Parker Washington.
And I'm sure he's upset about it. And to be fair,
moments after the loss,
if Calais doesn't tip it, I don't know what happens on that play. But the thing is if we talk about complementary football, whether it's offense, defense, or pass rush wetted up with the coverage, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about being close enough, and then the pass rush, didn't get there, but Calais gets the tip. You're covering in the right place. You get the turnover. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is that should have been a touchdown drive for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they got no points out of it.
The complementary part from the offense needed to be better. If you're looking for where to improve off that, that's where it has to be better.
You mean after turnovers?
Yes. That Baker pick in the fourth quarter was huge, and then Greg Dortch scores on the ensuing drive. That's crucial. But there were 2 interceptions in which the Cardinals offense took the field, and it didn't end in any points. That's tough.
Well, one of them was when Brissett got knocked silly on the sideline on first down. And with all due respect to Keaton Slovis, that was, the direct snap to Greg Dortch, the lost 5, and then, hey, Keaton, we're going to get you your first NFL completion, but it's going to be a backwards pass, so you'll have negative yards on your all-time passing right now.
So it's interesting to hear Budda Baker last week going into the game talking at length about Trevor Lawrence, not the passing game, but his run game, his legs, and not getting down, willingness to really extend a run. And Budda Baker subliminally, we believe, sending a message to Trevor Lawrence, you better get down or else. And he had the 19-yard run in that first half, and Jonathan again cited that coming off at halftime, did not like that. But other than that, he had 4 pretty ineffective runs for not much yardage, 2 or 3 yards apiece. So, that was good by the Cardinals. I would say they need to get ready to stop the run in Tampa if it indeed is going to be Teddy Bridgewater, because you have a Tampa offense that's going to get back Bucky Irving from all indications, RB1. 2 games ago, they ran for over 200 at Buffalo. So you got to figure with a backup quarterback and their healthy running back, they're going to come out and try and run the football, so we'll see. And with that in mind, I'd say, and you said it earlier, Walter Nolen, Will Johnson. I mean, if you're thinking, okay, where do your eyes go in these last 6 games? The 2 top rookies from this class, Darius Robinson from last year's class, who by all indications and all accounts, talking to the coaches like we all do and what they've said, he's continuing to ascend. I wonder how much of it is Walter Nolen III has shown up on the scene. And you're right, in your own little competition in your own position room. And then Cody Simon. Mack Wilson Sr. is going to miss at least 2 more games, I believe. So Cody Simon at inside linebacker. You saw Travis Etienne get loose. Now that was Akeem Davis-Gaither, and he lost his footing. But you saw that first touchdown pass and then 4 plays, 97 yards on the opening possession of the game. But once again, that inside linebacker spot, I think just me, eyeball test, they're still missing their seek and destroy captain at middle linebacker, Mack Wilson Sr.
Oh, yeah.
More than I think most people realize, especially in the run game.
Oh, I don't think there's any question. Mack Wilson's one of your best players. Yeah. And I think the way he was playing, Mack Wilson deserved at least some consideration for Pro Bowl. I don't know if he would have gotten there. And then to get hurt stinks because he was playing well. And when you take that out, it's been noticeable. And that's not a knock on Cody Simon, who's learning the game as a rookie, but he's not Mack Wilson.
So if Will Johnson, you hope, can get back and, really get some valuable reps the remainder of his rookie season, Marvin Harrison Jr., I hope can be back soon. And same deal. Isaiah Adams has been in the lineup more and more, both as part of a rotation, and then you had the injury to Will Hernandez. And Isaiah Adams, from all indications, has been improving slowly but steadily, in his assignments and in trying to finish blocks. And so that's all part of the process. To me, that's the best case scenario for the rest of the year. How can you get these first, second, and third year players to really improve their game? Because, look, decisions are going to be made in the offseason. And if you're a player right now, especially a young player who's an unproven player, you need to make up the mind of the decision makers for them with your film.
Well, there's no choice. This isn't a situation where everybody's healthy and, hey, let's sit the veteran and let's see what we have in the young players. You're a banged-up team, which happens in the league, right? Happens to almost every team. This is where you see what players are made of. What kind of progress have you made from the beginning of the offseason, or if you're in your second year, from the start of the season, right? And what you've been told to work on, and how are you getting better? How are you helping the team get better? Where is the bar of where the judgment's going to be made when decisions have to be made at the end of the season? And game reps are invaluable. You can do your best in practice, although you get to a point in the season where you can only have a certain number of padded practices because of the NFLPA, right? So you can really only learn so much. It is those game reps where you really learn the most about a player.
Speaking of banged up,
This
might be our segue into a certain segment in this show where it gets, well, you'd like to think it gets competitive based on the win-loss record, not so much. A lot of close losses by yours truly. I got to figure out, I've been in the game, I got to figure out how to win the game. All right, finish the question, finish this edition of Wise Guy.
It's time for The Wise Guy, the world's fastest growing Cardinals quiz show. The stakes are low, the winner gets absolutely nothing. Here's your hostess with the mostest, Dani Sureck.
This is going to be a tough one. We do not play the Buccaneers often.
Number one, Dani.
I don't have a pen, so my memory's going to have to serve me well today.
At least someone's smiling. Darren
down.
already has his game face on. I better match it. All right, here we go. Time to mean mug. Bring it.
Question 1. This former fourth-round draft pick of the Cardinals scored 11 rushing touchdowns in 4 seasons with Arizona, and later added 10 rushing touchdowns over 6 seasons with the Buccaneers. His son is currently an NFL player in the AFC. Who is this former Cardinal and Buccaneer?
Michael Pittman Sr.
Correct. Michael Pittman Jr. of the Indianapolis Colts.
I actually had that before you said his son was a receiver. Just so
Look at
everybody
you.
knows.
Okay.
Paul,
I
time to
think
pick
of,
a question.
I think of Michael Pittman, and I think of I got to start doing some bicep curls. Here we go. Let's go.
That's a good move.
I'll go. What number was that?
That was 1.
That was 1. Okay. 3. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we
Oh,
go.
this is going to be good.
Dang it.
Don't get mad at me.
Come on.
Tampa Bay is sometimes referred to as quote, the capital of death metal, thanks to bands like Morbid Angel and Cannibal Corpse.
Thank God I did not get this question.
Don't ask me about either of those bands because I have no clue.
Okay, so based on last week, you should give me an infinite number of hints. That's how Darren got Limp Bizkit. Let's
don't
go.
write the questions,
Okay, here we
Paul.
go.
Okay. Tampa Bay, capital of death metal.
Death metal.
But the area has also produced other notable acts. One example is this popular symphonic rock and metal band formed in Tampa in 1996, famous for its elaborate stage shows and its modern, edgy take on Christmas classics. I mean, this is a doozy of a question.
Symphonic. So they perform as if a symphony? I mean, what do you even mean by symphonic? Okay. Yeah, wait a minute. Let me really think about this for a moment. Christmas.
Rock and
I
metal
think I have an
band
idea.
formed in Tampa in 1996.
Okay. I
think I
Modern
saw 'em in
edgy
concert.
take on
Okay.
Christmas classics.
Okay, I got it. Slipknot.
Sorry, Paul.
Is it Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Yes.
I've seen them in concert.
Oof. Darren with the steal.
Boy, everybody's so disappointed in me when I'm correct.
What is the Trans-Siberian Orchestra? What is that? It's a group?
I don't think I'm allowed to
If you
pull up their music
if you
because
heard
I'm
their
sure
music, you'd be like, "Oh,
we'll
that."
have to do it off air. I think if I played a song right now on my laptop, it would music right
You know
infringements.
the music, the rock Christmas music that people like.
Isn't it like dun da 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 dun
Yeah,
da da?
yeah, kind of like, but they
Yeah.
put it up with their lights. They sync it up to the lights.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with number 2, Danny.
Okay.
Paul's upset.
I mean,
Sorry, Paul.
what?
This former Buccaneers defender would join the Cardinals in 2003 and become the second player to host Big Red Rage. Second player to host in Big Red Rage history, our weekly radio show with Paul.
Dexter Jackson.
That's correct.
You should have picked 2, Paul.
Oh
Can't
my
do
gosh.
anything about it. There are people
That's
who
just-
blame me online because
Oh
they think
my
I am somehow rigging this, and
Oh
I'm
my
not.
God. Really? It kind of dawns on me. I've never really actually seen the sheet. I've just always presumed that it's on the up and up. But how do I know this isn't Quiz Show at this point? The movie. How do I know that? I mean, it's just a.
How dare you try and turn this on me?
You talk about
I'm rooting for you.
a moving target. All right, what was number 4 just
Here
for
we
kicks?
go.
What was number 4 just for
boy,
kicks?
Paul. Okay, don't shoot the messenger.
Oh boy.
This 1985 movie starring Wilford Brimley was set in Tampa and followed a group of retirement home residents who discover a pool that restores their youth. I've never heard this. This sounds good.
You know this,
The
Paul.
group is forced to choose between being young again on Earth or leaving with aliens for a new life.
Okay, I never saw it. I kind of remember the commercials. No idea. No clue what the.
Cocoon.
Cocoon.
And by the
my
way,
gosh.
this is our fun fact. When Wilford Brimley shot Cocoon, again, on his whatever he was, trying to find the Fountain of Youth, he was younger than Tom Cruise was, I think, in like the 3rd Mission Impossible movie or something like that. It was like Wilford Brimley at 50 and Tom Cruise at 50 aren't even in the same universe.
Wasn't he the oatmeal guy? He did all the
Yes,
oatmeal.
yes.
Okay. All right. There we go.
He was.
Sorry,
Give me
Paul.
an oatmeal commercial.
Better
Wait,
luck
did I
next
just go
week.
4-0? I think I went 4-0.
Yes,
Oh
he
my
did.
gosh.
We didn't even do the
Okay.
tiebreaker.
That's
do you guys
okay.
want to do that since we don't play Tampa
No,
often?
no, that's okay.
Don't crush him while he's
Okay.
down.
We're gonna move on.
Maybe just one of these years. There might be a car question in there somewhere. All righty, let's see here.
Larry
Maybe when we play
Fitzgerald once
Detroit.
scored a big touchdown in
Yeah,
Tampa.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, he did. And that brings us to the following. What was Larry's best friend? A run game, right? Okay, so the threat of the play action, get single coverage downfield. I get it. Cardinals run game. They are banged up. El Grande in the running back room. How much, if you diagnose the run game from last season to this season, how much do you attribute to no James Conner, to mostly no Trey Benson, to losing Amari DiMercato, for example, and we all agree on this, we talked about this, whenever you don't have Amari DiMercato as your 3rd down back, it's amazing how often that surfaces as a liability in pass protection, right?
Yes, 100% not having DiMercato out there as your 3rd down running back is noticeable. Not a knock on the other running backs. DiMercato is just that good at a really tough job of a running back when you're trying to block a 200-plus, 180-plus pound outside linebacker, like an edge rusher coming right at your face trying to protect the quarterback. That's not easy as a running back. I'm not able to fully say that it's just because of James Conner or Trey Benson's injuries of this run game not being close to where it was last year because, albeit a small sample size, when you had Conner healthy to start the season, wasn't a hot start for the run game. That was something that was really slow to get going. And it's unfortunate. Back-to-back weeks, this team had to put their starting running back on injured reserve. And while Benson's practice window has been open with that knee injury, he has not been activated off IR, so hasn't played a game in 7 weeks. The thing is, though, is it's more than just the running back. All of it starts at the line of scrimmage. Is you need all 5 offensive linemen, 6 if you've got jumbo package or a blocking
tight end.
You have to be on the same page with communication, with the scheme, with blocking responsibilities, with execution, clean discipline, so you're not drawing a penalty. There's so many things involved that it's not just the running back. And it's not fair to compare because it's different players, it's different schemes, different coaches, but look around the league at teams who, when they lose their top running back, their run game doesn't necessarily falter because everything else is in place. It is truly like, it's not just on the backs of why this run game has been not as efficient as it was last year.
Like Michael Wilson was talking about his success the other day, and he was talking about how it's not just me, it's the play calling from the coaches, it's the pass protection, it's Jacoby playing well and getting me the ball, and then I got to do my part. And he said, he called it, he goes, it's the whole organism. And that made me think more of the running game in a lot of ways. It's the organism of the run game, and like it's all kind of have to be one giant
cell
working together.
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Oh my God.
The original.
Leave it to the Stanford guy.
There you go. The original report for Emari Demercado was that he had a high ankle sprain, so he's probably going to miss another game, I would think. And you don't know where Bam Knight is. He's been dealing with an ankle. He did go off late in the game, kind of limping after a play. I'm assuming he kind of re-aggravated that, so we'll see where that is. Michael Carter got the most reps at running back, but you're talking about having Jamar Jefferson, who didn't play any offense the other day, potentially being a backup running back, depending on how Bam Knight is. Like, I don't know if Trey Benson's going to be in a place yet where this is the game where he comes back. He's got to come back this week or next in terms of at least being on the roster. But is that this week? I don't know.
I mean, there was a moment in the first half on the sideline, I'm like, wait, who's this guy? And I'm looking, Jamar Jefferson, 43. That's when you know a position group has been hit hard by injury. But all that being said, and Drew Petzing cited all the above, he also included more movement up front. You need more movement in the trenches. The O-line needs to push back the D-line. The most simplistic key to any football game, you just need to win more often in the trenches and create more running lanes.
It'll be fascinating to me how that goes. I think this game, I mean, you can win in a lot of different ways, but it's going to be humid there. It probably won't be super hot, but with the humidity, it's not going to be fun by the time you get to the fourth quarter. You don't want the other team to be able to grind out the game on the ground. And we talked about with Bucky Irving, the Cardinals defense are going to have to make sure they get off the field. And on offense, you're going to want to make sure that you try and tire out this Bucs defense. If they're already not pass rushing well anyways, if you can make any kind of headway on the ground.
Pro tip, run away from Vita Vea.
Run.
Do not run straight at Vita Vea, who's listed at 347, and AQ Shipley on Game Plan this week in studio said, yeah, that's...
Maybe as a rookie.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe going into the Combine, he was 347. He hasn't seen 347 since the Combine.
What is your threshold for being willing to run at Vita Vea if you're Paul Calvisi?
Darren, come on now. All right. I mean,
I know you were running back.
So
you did some things.
You want me right here? I'll just leave a suicide
you'll have
note
blockers.
Right now. I mean, what do you want me to do?
You'll have blockers.
Let me sign a last will and testament before I run out.
Way
is
more.
It $100,000?
Way more.
Oh my goodness! It's got to be life-changing cash.
It's got to be enough to cover every surgery.
Yeah.
I was going to say
required.
life-changing cash for a life-changing hit.
It's got to be full health insurance the rest of my life. That's what it's got to be.
Full new set of teeth.
Yeah, it's Yeah, he's a dude. Keep your eye on Vita Vea. That's wow. So yeah, you're gonna have to deal with Todd Bowles and the crazy schemes he's gonna dial up and stuff you haven't seen, and there's gonna be a lot of unscouted stuff. So we'll see. But when Jacoby Brissett is throwing it 40-something times, 50-something times, and
not ideal.
He gets sacked 6 times and he gets hit 15 times. Okay, that's how sustainable is that? So it's not a want at this point. It's a need. You need to get more of a run game going. Jonathan Gannon said it after the game. He doubled down on it in his Monday press conference to start this week. So, okay, what does that mean? Especially if you're down to one of 5 running backs, then what exactly does that mean? Do you have to go with a different scheme entirely? Do you go with an unscouted look? So Todd Bowles going, wait a minute, where'd this run game come from? We haven't seen this on film. At this point, it might be that drastic, I mean, you might need to take a drastic action like that.
My follow-up is, do you think they wouldn't have already done that at this point?
Perhaps.
Right?
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, Jacksonville had the number 2 ranked run defense. Tampa's top 10. So it's not going to be much easier. Now, the Tampa pass defense is bottom 5. So,
yeah.
Secondary hasn't been stellar.
Once again, all this pregame analysis might go out the window, and Jacoby Brissett might throw it 60 times on Sunday, as far as we know, just based on the metrics on Tampa's defense.
Michael Wilson, 10 more catches.
Right. Who was the guy on Friday who asked JG? Well, Michael Wilson will never see 18 targets again. And then JG cut off that interviewer and said, well, you sure about that? And he got 15 targets in this last game. And now the guy who asked that question last Friday might continue to look bad, sort of like the Wise Guy segment week after
Darren.
week. So it could have been yours truly. So, okay, there we go. Speaking of on the run, cross country one night to Tampa. Why is this significant, Darren? Why did it make the rundown?
Well,
here?
it really only made the rundown
Call him out like that on air.
because I wanted to get to the Tampa game. But you were all over Tampa from the get-go, so we can move on to Larry Fitzgerald.
What are you guys going to
there,
do
Paul.
for our long flight? How do you stay entertained?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Are you going to wear your compression socks? Just me. Prevent blood clots.
Is that a concern of
Really?
yours, Danny?
Really? In the 18 to 34 demo, blood clots are a
You never
consideration?
know.
Really?
You never know.
You know,
Okay.
I just wanted to stay for the record that
Oh,
I
no.
went 10-3 in picks this week.
Okay.
I'm now 110-56. Paul, you also went 10-3.
Yeah.
You're at 106-60, so you're still 4 games behind me. Danny, 9-4. Sorry, 9-4. You fall 2 games behind
I just
Paul.
I can't pick up any games.
Well, you should have picked up one because I picked the Cowboys, and you should have picked up one on me, and the Cowboys somehow won that game.
Yeah, don't let my dad hear that I picked the Eagles.
Your dad doesn't listen to this.
No.
Tell you what, before we get to Larry, because we'll save that as our big finish. You know
Okay.
what? Let's get some winning behavior. How about it?
That works for me.
I see you. Let's go. Can you display winning behavior? You have to consistently display winning behavior.
That's winning behavior.
You got to define what winning behavior is and hold people to that standard. Yes.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, Jacoby Brissett is represented in Canton.
Yes. I thought that was kind of cool. After he set the NFL record for completions against the 49ers 2 weeks ago, 47, Canton reached out to Mark Dalton here, the senior vice president of media relations, and asked if it was possible to get Jacoby's jersey from the game, and they were going to put it on display. And I thought to myself, you know, that's pretty cool because, let's face it, Jacoby Brissett probably is going to have a hard time getting into Canton any other way. And for him to have an accomplishment that's worthy of something like that, I think that's excellent. And I know it came in a loss and not a great loss. I know this hasn't been a great season for the Cardinals, but these are the kinds of things I think about. I'm like, you know, Jacoby Brissett's played a lot of football. He's been on a lot of different teams. You know, this is, if you're going to lose the game anyways, to have something come out of it like this, I just think is cool for him, for his kids to see one day. I just think it's a cool thing.
Maybe for us to see in a couple of months. I don't know. If we're all happen to be in Canton for one way or another.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Oh, that's very good.
Here's a winning behavior that I'm going off the sheet. Did you see this yesterday? It was revealed that 3 brothers were going through their late mother's attic, and they unearthed a copy of the first Superman comic issue.
Whoa, what is that?
Was it a
worth?
good condition?
It was graded 9 out of 10.
Oof.
Pristine condition, and it just fetched $9.2 million at auction. They found it in the attic. Mom had preserved Superman #1, the original comic.
Is Mom no longer with him?
No longer with him. They were cleaning out her house.
Wow.
And apparently, as soon as they started contacting people in the industry, people flew in on the next flight just to witness it. That's how big a deal it was, because they're like, oh, okay, this can't be true. Sure enough, it was legit.
That's awesome.
Wow,
So
that
I
gives
thought that
me
was pretty
goosebumps.
cool.
That's
pretty cool.
that's incredible winning behavior by Mom.
Absolutely.
Yes, it was.
And by the kids
Yes.
not just throwing everything away.
The saving the comic part. I mean, the other part.
yeah,
Yeah.
look through every box.
Yeah, don't throw away the baseball cards, please.
Don't throw away the Beanie Babies.
Anyways,
What about the Pokemon? Didn't you have Josh Sweat in the Pokemon cards, right?
Yes. You know, I used to collect them when I was in kindergarten. I didn't know what they meant, so then I didn't
Pokemon?
really... Yeah, Pokemon cards.
Okay.
But I didn't know what they meant, and so then I didn't keep them. I don't know if they were worth anything.
I marked a winning behavior, a literal winning behavior from Shedeur Sanders,
Oh, boy.
who is the 42nd quarterback to start for the Browns since 1999. He is the first Cleveland quarterback to win his first NFL start since Eric Zaire in 1995, snapping a 17-game losing streak for the Browns in games with a quarterback making his first career start. And all I could think of is, you've had 17 quarterbacks that have never started a game at quarterback except when they played for you. You've either drafted them or brought them in. Like, goodness gracious.
We talk about WTF, what the football. I mean, 42 different starting quarterbacks since 1999, and the first 17 to start their first game were 0 for. Really? That is staggering. Okay.
But it is Cleveland.
Yeah.
So, not really.
Well,
That's winning behavior. Non-winning behavior is Lane
Yeah.
Kiffin
okay.
What's
dragging
the 411?
dragging out his future, saying he'll announce what happens after they play the Egg Bowl against Mississippi State this weekend.
College
Boy,
football
boy,
is
oh boy.
so broken in so many different ways. I'm
You're not
afraid
even
to
going
say.
to wait for the season to end?
Well, that's the whole. There was a thing at one point that it was going to come out before the Mississippi State game, and they managed to get him to stop doing that. I don't know what's going to happen, but it sure doesn't feel like he's going to end up saying, "I'm staying at Mississippi."
Man, what a way to make a boatload of money is just coach college football. Even if you're not that good, you're still going to get paid.
So this last one, we're going to have to advance. Talk about batting cleanup.
Yeah, really.
Okay. So a woman in Thailand, what?
Wakes up in a coffin after being brought in for cremation, which, by the way, I would like to take major umbrage with the idea of wakes up in coffin. That makes it sound like she was taking a nap. If you're in the coffin, the only nap you're taking is a dirt nap. So, like, that's not just waking up. Like, that's... First of all,
Darren,
getting burned alive
don't
is
act
terrible.
like you've never taken a dirt nap after a fraternity party at ASU back in your day.
God, I hope not. You're talking to a ghost, buddy. What's worse, being burned alive to die or being
Okay.
buried alive to
All
die?
right. I
She was
mean-
going to be both.
Okay. All right.
I'm uncomfortable.
Not winning behavior.
Yeah. So, I mean, what?
Bring this back, Paul.
Okay. No. What was the high leverage moment? Was there sort of a knocking from the inside out of the coffin? I mean, at what point was there a realization?
That I don't know.
Okay. So here we go. Don't know what the segue is out of that into the Hall of Fame and Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald, very much alive.
There might be a comparison to an extra preseason game, but we won't go there.
Oh, yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald is now tracking and then some for the Hall of Fame as the final 26 are announced. And let's face it, come on, Fitz and Drew Brees, slam dunks. Can we say slam dunk?
Okay, we've had this discussion before. They're 225. It'll be pared down to 15 before we get to Super Bowl week. Then during Super Bowl week, it'll go from 15 to 7. The final 7 will get voted on. However, to get in, a voter can only vote for 5 of those 7, and you have to get 80% of the vote. So, and these are new rules starting last year. So again, it's not a given that Fitz will.
Well, look, you have to take 4. There's at least 4 have to be elected.
Yes.
There were only 4 last year, which was the smallest class in 2 decades.
Actually, is it 4 or 3? Is it 4?
It's 4.
Okay,
It's
4.
between 4 and 8.
Okay.
And now, in that final 15, which will be determined by Super Bowl week, 4 players have already been guaranteed spots based
Right.
on the fact they made it to the final 7 last year. I'm
Right.
looking at it right here. Willie Anderson won't make it. Torrey Holt won't make it. Luke Kuechly will make it. Adam Vinatieri won't make it. So that's just yours truly giving you the
And
odds over here.
they go to 15.
So those are all in the
They're
15.
automatically
They're
going to
automatically
be in
in
the 15.
15.
So there are
So out of
11
the other
more.
26, you got to get 11 more.
Yeah.
Do I think Breeze as a first-timer gets in? Yes. Do I think Fitz as a first-timer gets in? And when I say gets in, I mean the 15. Yes. I do think Breeze and Fitz are going to make it in, but like...
I mean, if you have to
here's-
take 4, who are 3 other players you would take if Breeze is in? What are 3 other players you're going to take before Larry Fitzgerald?
But
if
see,
you have to take
you're-
at least 4.
But you're looking at it like everybody is on even plane, whereas some of these voters might be saying, you know what, I've been kind of holding off on this player. This is Fitz's first time here. I'll put him in next year.
Okay.
Again, one of the things I'm going to say about the Hall of Fame, which I agree with, is every year what's going to happen is there's a class, and then everybody says, "Oh my God, X didn't get in. How did X not get in?" And then the argument is, who are you taking out from that class to put in? Now, I'm not saying Fitz doesn't necessarily rank over those guys, but I will say this: it used to be when Jerry Rice went in, the guy presenting them basically stood up and said, Jerry Rice, and then sat back down. There was no presentation because you didn't need to. Once upon a time, I think you could have done that. Kent Summers is the Arizona voter and presenter for Cardinals. I think Kent, once upon a time, could have stood up and said, Larry Fitzgerald, enough said, sit down. I think you probably at least have to make a little effort here.
Well, maybe the extra effort is Larry Fitzgerald, ... second to Jerry Rice in every category. Then sit down, Ken. That's what you do.
And that may very well be true. But unlike Jerry Rice, who won a bunch of Super Bowls, Larry didn't win any Super Bowls. And so there is, and I'm not saying it's right, but there is an argument, okay, what did his teams accomplish in doing all those things?
I guess I'm reverse engineering it. So if you take the returning finalists, which one of these guys would you put ahead of Larry Fitzgerald? Eli Manning? No. Steve Smith Sr. at the same position? No. T. Sizzle? Terrell Suggs? I mean, former NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He's got a case. Darren Woodson, another former ASU guy. Nice, great player, but not ahead of Larry Fitzgerald in Hall of Fame consideration. So anyway, we'll see.
You're not going to get a disagreement from me. I'm not going to put anybody over Fitz.
No. But you're right, and the national perspective might be a lot different than those of us here in Arizona. But once again, prepare yourself next season for the extra preseason game and a trip to Canton, Ohio.
Woohoo!
Yep.
Ohio in August? Sounds
having
beautiful.
been to a couple of Hall of Fame inductions, bring a pair of shorts and be ready to sweat.
So the last time we were there, it was late. It was middle of the fourth quarter, and there's somebody kicking into the kicking net on the sideline. And I'm like, well, it's definitely not the Cardinals kicker because I can see him down at the other end. Who's behind me kicking into the net? I turn around. It's Lawrence Taylor with a stogie in one hand and a beverage in the other, and he was working on his short kicking game.
It's laid back in the Hall of Fame game, I think it's fair to say.
If you're wearing a gold jacket, you go wherever you wanted to go, even on game day.
Yes.
On the field.
Yes.
So there you go. It's good to have a gold jacket.
Paul, what are you cooking for Thanksgiving?
Good question. What am I outsourcing? Is that the question? Well, first I have to mentally recover from the parade, and then after we get back from that, and
the parade in Fountain Hills,
and then I'm not naming names on the local
Wait a minute,
parade.
you still have to do parades even though your kids are like in high school?
I told you I'm going to get, just like I get dragged on this podcast, I'm going to get dragged out to the parade. That's what's going to happen.
Why don't you have your car in the parade?
You know, my teenage punk made that comment, and now that it no longer has a carburetor issue, then it might be a viable candidate for that. You're right. I probably should have got off my keister and volunteered it.
There you go.
Because at least it would be clean and detailed, as opposed to a lot of them that are in the parade.
Yeah, okay. There's been a lot of rain lately, Paul.
So wait, what are you making for Thanksgiving?
I really have no idea. It's not my department.
Okay, you're just showing up.
Dani, what
I've been
the
told
green
to
bean
bring
casserole.
dessert.
Have you evolved it from year to year? What is the status? A little status check on the green bean casserole.
I am a self-aware queen. I understand that not everybody likes green bean casserole. So when I am generously included in my friends' family Thanksgiving, since I can't go home with work, I'm not going to bring green bean casserole because I know people don't like it. So I've been told to make dessert, so that's what I'm going to do. My family will be making and consuming plenty of green bean casserole for me.
They're going to mail some to Dani.
Yum, I wish.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good. Uber Eats.
Darren's in charge
casserole.
of the whole Thanksgiving at his house.
Yeah. You know what I'm making, Paul? Love.
Oh, boy. Oh, okay.
Oh, apparently behind the glass, they
Okay,
don't know
all
if
right.
that's...
We're preparing? Okay, that didn't...
Okay, that'll do it for this edition of Cardinals Underground. Brought to you by Pacific
Wish I'd
Office
planned that out a little bit better.
Automation.